everyone. It is April 29, 2025. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I have a special guest. But first, out of the gates, this is my highest number of attendees, 117. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's keep this going. This show or live event, whatever you wish to call it, is all about increasing our capacity when it comes to leadership. I have seen over my 32 years some poor leadership. So that's why I am here, to really help give you a lot of strategies, tips, tools to really put in your toolbox and use immediately. I, with 32 years experience, still have a lot to learn. Today's episode is called Driven by Purpose with Dr. Darlene Smith-Raibon. Let's get her on. Here she is. Let's see. Boom. Dr. Smith-Raibon. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Dr. Perkins?
Very good. You're coming to us from LA, is that correct?
From LA, yes.
That's where the stars hang out, and I'm with one today. So,
but I'm hanging out with my daughter because
that's right.
Right.
Helping your daughter with some the granddaughter needs. Is it granddaughter?
Yes, helping her with my granddaughter because she's in medical school and she's doing her clinicals and then her residency. So we're here just helping her out every other week or so.
That's awesome. And then when she starts getting that paycheck, make sure you get 20% back for helping her out.
Definitely. We already have it all drawn out.
There you go. There you go. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. We look forward to having a great conversation. Yes. Audience, at any time, if you have any questions, please put it in the comment section. I have the comment section on right now. We would love to answer those questions in real time. So please, if you have any curiosity question, how did this happen? How did you approach something? Please ask. So let's start, Dr. Smith-Raibon, with the $1 million first question. Can you introduce yourself and then give us your definition of purpose-driven leadership?
Okay, certainly. First, thank you for having me on your show. I watch it all the time, and I think that you're doing a wonderful job. Thank you for the information that you continue to provide to us. And the last time I was supposed to come on, I have to apologize to you publicly because it was in the middle of the fires going on here. So we had to get out of town quick. So I apologize.
No worries. I would have hated to have interviewed you and see fire come through the window.
Right. But
so I understand.
On, so thank you. As Dr. Perkins said, my name is Dr. Darlene Smith-Raibon. I am married to David Raibon, who is my rock, and I have 4 children. I have 2 grandbabies that are my pride and joy, and besides those being my claim to fame, I am an educator, an author. I do consulting, and I am the executive director and founder for Hope Key Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization based in Arizona. And our mission is to interrupt the school to prison pipeline by providing academic support, mentorship, and resources to high-risk students. And through these programs, we aim to empower students, strengthen our communities, and create pathways to success for all. So, and you asked me about my purpose-driven leadership. Purpose-driven leadership to me means aligning our work with the higher calling for me, and that's focusing on creating meaningful and lasting impact in our community. It's about serving others selflessly, which I have done for over 30 years, staying grounded in your values and leading with integrity, compassion, and resilience, especially resilience. And it's not about just achieving goals, but it's about transforming the lives and uplifting those in need most, to me.
Well said. When I looked it up, because I said I do a lot of leadership classes and there's various definitions, and the purpose-driven leadership really focuses on, like you said, the income piece, the money part is secondary. Mm-hmm. It's about you as a person saying, I want to help in X area. I'm really passionate. I have a lot of purpose to really help make a dent in that area, decrease the issues in that area. And you go out on your own and you do a lot of work on your dime and your time. So
Right.
thank you for what you do. We're going to get into a little bit more of what the Hope Key Foundation is all about. You did bring up many aspects of it. Second question, how did your purpose-driven leadership lead you to your nonprofit, your Hope Key Foundation? What really connected the dots for you to say, it's in my mindset and now I want to put it into action?
Mm-hmm. That came many, many, many years ago. And my leadership is deeply rooted in my personal and my professional experiences. And growing up, I witnessed the devastating effects, and I'm going back to the Hope Key, the reason why Hope Key exists. But growing up, I grew up in a family. I had 3 brothers that went through the school to prison pipeline, and eventually they ended up getting their GEDs. But seeing how they struggled, and my mother not having the wherewithal to help them through the process, and didn't have anybody to help them through the process, it was devastating, and that's what started my official wanting to help. And then it also instilled in me a sense of responsibility to create change, and watching my brothers, and also with my professional piece of it. Within the 30 years that I've been in education, I saw glaring gaps in how we support our at-risk kids. So particularly with the specific learning disorders and the high-risk kids that come from other areas. And I just saw how easily students could become disengaged and disenfranchised when their unique needs weren't met. So that's what really started me. And this calling led me to establish the Hope Key Foundation.
It seems like that cause in particular pulled on your heartstrings and you felt you were called to action to do something.
Right.
Very good. And I would encourage all the audience members out there, when you have that in your heart, there's a fancy terminology, I don't remember the name of it, but when something's in your mind and it's hot, jump on it right then and there. Make a couple steps, even if you don't know the end result just yet, and you want to make some movement, some progress, start with step 1, step 2, step 3, and that clarity will come. But you got to start with the steps first. So if anything's in your heart and you want to conquer it, start with the steps, because you don't want to get to the end of your life and go, man, I regret not doing X, Y, Z.
Exactly. So, and that's what I call a calling.
There you go.
My calling. Yes.
There you go. When the man upstairs bugs you and it's in your mindset, it's a calling. So that's why I was called to education. I graduated from high school, didn't really know what I wanted to do. My dad said, this was in the 80s, said, get into electronics. That field's going to explode, which it did. I jumped in, got my associate's degree as an electronic technician, worked for Honeywell, General Dynamics as an electronic technician, and I hated it, and I was horrible at it. And then the man upstairs said, I got something for you. And I could not stop thinking about teaching.
Right.
And then I got into teaching. I fell in love with leadership. And here I am 32 years later. I've had a blessed career to do some things, much success, some failures, of course. And you need those failures to pick yourself back up, lessons learned, rebuild, rethink, and move forward. Right. So at the end of anyone's career, if you are 85+% successful, you did a good job, because you're not going to be 100% perfect. So everyone out there, if something comes into your heart, jump right on it. Why specifically Hope Key Foundation? You know, you drill down into kind of the purpose and your why, and you're doing the work. Now you have a board, and what are some of the fundraising things you're doing, projects you want to get into?
Well, specifically Hope Key Foundation. I thought about that, the name of the nonprofit, for a long time, and I knew that it had to have a meaning, and it had to be something that people would remember. And so that was chosen with the intentionality to reflect the mission that we wanted to get across and our vision. And so the hope symbolizes the belief that every child, no matter their circumstances, deserves the opportunity to succeed. And then the word key represents the tools, resources, and support the foundation provides to unlock the potential within each child to succeed and help them overcome barriers of iniquity. And so that also allows them access to, open possibilities. And also, this foundation is not just about the immediate challenges that kids are facing right now, but it's about equipping young people with the tools to rewrite their stories. And like you said, sometimes when we think we want to go through to one avenue, maybe in business or whatever, but God has something else for us. He's going to reveal it to us. And it's that at that time for us just to listen to him and do what he asks us to do. But with the kids that we work with, I just don't want them to feel that their circumstances will define their future. So that's what we're here for. We're here to help them with the circumstances that they're having right now, and to also strengthen our communities and inspire them to just go further. And like,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, we talked before about Hope Key, and I said I would like it to be more of a movement. And, I want this movement to fuel hope to people and just allow them to have a brighter future and just connect and make sure that our communities will become stronger for the generations to come.
We need more people like you out there. There's this hustle culture, there's this ego-driven society, and it's all about money and income. And I get it. We all need an amount of money to survive and be comfortable. But
Right.
At what point is it greed? Is it too much? And at what point are we giving back? We're not just getting all these blessings just for us to be selfish. The man upstairs is giving us these blessings also to serve and give back and help others. And that's
Right.
what you're doing here. So we really appreciate that. How do you handle resistance and skepticism with team members or stakeholders that are focused on that income, that profit over service?
It's funny because that's one of our most challenging areas is getting funding, grants, and just getting people to donate to us and for this cause. But the way I handle the resistance and the skepticism is that I work through clear communications and tangible results with people. I make sure that I focus on showing how investing in education for our children and for all of the stakeholders and support. And while they're supporting the at-risk students, it creates a long-term benefit. And when I say it creates a long-term benefit, I mean not just for the students, but for their communities. And that's one of our key overshadowing projects, is that we want to empower communities through our students. And without our students, our communities won't be empowered and they won't continue to grow for the future. But education is the cornerstone of opportunity and empowerment, especially in the Black and Brown communities. And in our communities, it's just systemic iniquities. And so for the Black and Brown males, education is not just about academic achievement, but it's about breaking the vicious cycle that we just spoke about. And even with our Black males in high school, it's riveting, because in high school we have a dropout rate of around 59%, and that's compared to a graduation rate. I'm sorry, a graduation rate of about 59%, and that's compared to 79% of white males. Additionally, Black and Latino males have disproportionately represented the school to prison pipeline. And I talk about the school to prison pipeline all the time, and it's not a new concept. It's an old concept, and people have been sharing that information for years. I'm just continuing the message when I talk about the school to prison pipeline. But anyway, the Black students are nearly 4 times more likely to be suspended from school than white students. And these statistics highlight the critical need for targeted support and intervention, which we provide to students. So,
And thus leading to decreasing those stats, those statistics.
right, so that we can be on a even playing ground. And
Right.
and it's no secret that a lot of times within our communities, we have challenges that are unique to minority and marginalized communities. So those are the students that we work with. Those are the parents that we work with in the schools. We provide training to schools so that the teachers and administration will be more apt at working with the kids that they serve in their community, instead of making them their textbook prodigies. They go in and they realize that they have unique challenges within their own communities. And those are things that need to be looked at first before we can start the practice of just teaching them math, reading, and science. So.
Very good. I'm here with Dr. Darlene Smith-Raibon. She's the founder of the Hope Key Foundation. We are talking about purpose-driven leadership and her path, her purpose here in helping the students of color, Black, brown. We know the stats. I look at them pretty much every year as a former principal myself and superintendent. Every year I would go to the National Educational Statistics and look at the test scores and who's at the bottom all the time. Native Americans, African Americans, Hispanic Americans. So she has put together the Hope Key Foundation to get into the classrooms and really serve students of color, to get them up, pull them up. And we need to get out of this bottom of the barrel mentality with our stats and our thinking and our actions. So thank you so much for what you do. How do you measure success in a purpose-driven organization?
Measuring success. I think it goes beyond just the impact that we have, and it's more of a multi-dimensional approach. And the way we handle the success is that while producing the school to prison pipeline, while reducing the school to prison pipeline and empowering our at-risk students, the core of our goals are to impact and target the population around us, like I talked about, the communities, and then working with staff and our student coaches, our volunteers that work with the staff and work with the students within the classrooms. Those are ways that our success shows, and our success means that creating an environment where staff is okay with the community coming in and partnering with them. So, and also with parents, tracking our parent workshops and making sure that parents are receiving the influence that they deserve, and making sure that they receive the information for schools so that they can go in and better support their kids. So we also measure our success probably um, by our, I guess we align with societal goals, such as equity, inclusion, and we know that there needs to be systemic change. And so it's about being responsible and organizing and contributing positively to the community. And our success comes when parents and the community tell us that we're doing a good job and thank you for coming out. And we have kids that are showing that they're growing in their academics, growing in their lives outside of school, being more confident in their walk. So that's how we see the success of our organization.
Audience, if you have any comments, this is a great time to chime in and ask us questions. Thank you to Jug. Is it Jug Flex Promoter? He says, I'm enjoying the show, getting educated as well. He has a person who could also be interviewed as well. So I would love to, if you could send me that information in the comments, I would love to speak with that person. Thank you for recommending someone, and glad you're enjoying the show. That's the whole purpose here, is to help others out, to make this, like you said, a movement, right?
Right. And, and I wanted to also say that, because when you're talking, I just thought about this, but I also think that when you ask about success, because that's so big, but I think that one of the ways that we show it is that all of us working together to drive meaningful change within our community, within our school system, within our students.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. Now, you don't just talk the talk, you walk the walk, because you have a book out right here. This is the second edition.
Yes.
And I have both the first and the second. And I love what you did from the first to the second. We both are authors, and we write books and we go, oh, I wish I would have added this stat or this example or said this a little bit better. And you went back and you did it. So
Right.
Where can, one, they find the book? And then two, tell us about the key points of your book.
Okay, you can find the book on Amazon. Amazon has all of my books. I also have a kid series of books too, and we'll talk about that at another time. But yeah, Amazon is where you can find the book, and also on our website. You can find the book on our website. But yeah,
So
so
when you say Amazon and you said your website, what's your website?
hopekey.org.
Hopekey.org. Okay, and they can purchase it on both websites?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Let's get into your book. How did you go about crafting a compelling purpose for your book, Saving Our Boys by Interrupting the School to Prison Pipeline, from reflection, and here's the key, to completion? Because you and I have encountered people who want to write books, and they have this passion, this drive, this vision, and they never write the book. So how did you get there to completion?
From reflection to completion. So it started with deep reflection, actually. Like I said in the beginning, it started with my personal experiences and just watching how my brothers had to navigate that system. And then the systemic challenges I've witnessed in my professional life with students. And I thought about my three brothers and how they went through, again, like I said, how they went through the school to prison pipeline, and the countless students that I've worked with that had similar struggles. So that's how I started the book. And I thought, if I had challenges, and I know that being in this position and being in the education system for so many years, and I still have questions about why we are where we are. I know that parents are having questions and they don't really know how to navigate the system. And teachers, when I was doing my dissertation, I had a question to teachers and how they how they felt about oh my gosh, about the process, the special education process. And most of them hadn't been trained on it. They didn't know what they were doing. And when they would refer students, yes, the referral process, when they would refer students to special education, it was because of behavior. And so then, and that prompted questioning other areas. But I wanted the book to be more than just a narrative, and it needed to have the tools for change for the teachers. So, like I said, I asked educators, parents, and policyholders and stakeholders what they didn't know and what kind of changes they wanted to see in education and how they were helping their kids that were at risk. And I basically got the same answers all the time. We don't really know. That was the gist of it. And Dr. Perkins, you've been in education forever. You've been with teachers that aren't familiar with the kids that they work with. I know that now I'm kind of going on my own little tangent, but training and just making sure that teachers are doing, the schools are doing what they need to do when they train teachers. They have to start training them to go out and work with kids in these areas, not just the, textbook student, but they really have to start just revamping the system to train the teachers how to work with kids. And even once they get into the school system, schools need to have more PDs, more professional development training to help these teachers navigate what these kids are going through and be able to connect with them. And that's my whole thing. And then parents too. We need to train parents how to work within the school system to navigate the school system and make sure that their kids are being successful in schools. And it's just sad, but a lot of parents just don't know. And we have to be there to help them too. So going back to my saving our boys and interrupting the school to prison pipeline, I also focused on providing like practical strategies and real world case studies and tools that could be implemented immediately. And that's for parents, teachers, and all stakeholders. And when I say stakeholders, that means the business leaders in the community, babysitters, uncles, aunts, whoever has stake in that child's education needs to be able to work with the child and needs to be able to surround the child to help them be successful.
I appreciate your words. As you and I know, there's a lot of parents out there watching this. We need you parents to get back to that partnership with us in education. There's been a lot of this, the school is bad, the school is doing this, the politicians are making the schools look horrible, which is a big lie. So we just need to get back to communicating, trusting one another, building that positive relationship for the betterment of kids. This is about kids, not the adults. It's our time as an experienced generation to reach down and grab the new generation up. That's our purpose. And to do it respectfully, to do it where we communicate highly, to do it where we disagree professionally.
Right.
And we need to stop pointing the fingers, and we need to educate ourselves on facts, not feelings. In this generation, this society today is all about feelings, and it's facts. Feelings are facts. And we need to get back to, again, those partnerships, those relationships, I'm not sure what you meant by this. Can you please explain? And getting along and figuring it out. So I asked that as a plea to let's get back to it, please. What are some other key points you want to share within your book?
Let me see, the first book, and like you said, I went back and I added to the first book because I did not think that it had a starting point. And I think it's important for us to know where we've been before we can navigate to where we can go. So where we've been in the school to prison pipeline, it didn't happen by accident. So and then I have to go through a whole lot of history, but the school to prison pipeline, it's a result of decades of systemic uh, iniquities, racial disparities, and policies that have disproportionately targeted the Black, Latino, and Native American students. And this book doesn't just call out these injustices, but it equips readers. And like I said, our readers are our stakeholders with the knowledge and understanding where they come from. And more importantly, how to disseminate them. And I cannot fix, what we didn't first acknowledge. We can't fix that. But this historical context is critical to creating real change. So when you read it, the first edition, it didn't have the historical context. So I had to go back to the historical context. And that's from slavery to Black Code, to Jim Crow, and all the way down the system to mass incarceration. I've added all of that in this edition.
Beautiful. I think that's key in educating people from history to say, let's not repeat history moving forward.
Right.
And that's all it's all about, folks. You get this thing in society today where, well, some people are feeling down and out about all this being exposed, all this being brought to the surface. And folk, it's not about putting white people down. It's not. No. I'm half white and half Black. It's about just educating the masses so when we move forward, we're not repeating the same things. That's all this is about. Again, we're going back to feelings. Mm-hmm. Feelings aren't facts. We want facts to be out there so we're all educated, no matter what ethnicity, and we can move forward positively.
And go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to piggyback on what you said. And the facts and statistics prove where we are and why we are. So, like you said, it's not a feeling thing. It's proven.
It's facts. Yeah.
We need to help out these students more, and they need more support than what we're providing.
Exactly. How did you stay motivated to realize your purpose to writing a book? I think I stumbled upon a stat that less than 1% of people write books. I could be a little off, but it's super low. It's around 1%, 2%. A lot of people want to write books, but only 1 or 2 do. How did you stay motivated?
I think it was my why again. Why I decided to write the book in the first place, who I thought it could help. If it could just save one student from going, through that school to prison pipeline, I think that's a success. But my why is the reason that I continue to do and continue to write, because I also have another book that I'll introduce to you in a few seconds. But, just witnessing the struggles that students went through when I was in school and professionally when I started teaching school. They're not hardly, there's no difference hardly. The struggles are still the struggles. So what are we doing? And so I kept grounded in that mission. And that's what actually helped me get through it. Additionally, the years that I had in education, the firsthand of students becoming disengaged and overlooked fueled my determination to continue to do what I do. So
nice. What steps did you take to ensure your book's purpose is communicated clearly? Are you out there? What's your plan to get the message beyond this out there to the people?
Clearly, well, my mission is defined. So in the book, I define the mission, and before anything else, I make sure that the purpose of the book is crystal clear, so that interrupting the school to prison pipeline and empowering educators, parents, and students with actionable strategies. And this clarity serves as the foundation for the messaging, because in the book, I go through everything step by step. I don't, I tailor it to the audience. I don't try to speak above anyone's head.
Nice.
I speak directly to the issue, and I speak directly to whoever is reading it. So a parent can pick up the book and get good information. An educator can pick up the book and get good information, and a student can pick up the book and get good information, if they will. But so that's kind of what I've highlighted in a systematic way to impact whoever is reading the book.
I want to bring this to light, and I hope the audience really captures this. There's this thing going out lately, and it's on TV shows. It's a lot of famous rich people are saying it, and it's along the lines of, you don't need a college education. That's just a waste of time. College is a scam. Folks, that is a trap. That's a scam, because the rich people who are saying it want to make sure you stay uneducated so they can take advantage of you, so they can keep doing what they're doing. While they hang high, you hang low. So don't get caught up in that. Another big lie out there. I'm disappointed that people would even speak that way and tell others, oh, you don't need an education. But look at who's saying it. Look at who's saying it. It's all the rich people saying it, because they don't want you to come up. They don't want you to be rich. They don't want you to be educated. So watch out for that, please. Closing thoughts. What is one book, and outside of your book, resource or tool that can help people grow as a purpose-driven leader?
Okay. Can I say something to what you just said before I answer this question really quick?
Yes.
I just want to piggyback on what you were saying, because I've heard those same crazy statements that you don't need an education, you can do this, you can do that. But one of the things that we forget is that education is what drives our communities. If we are not educated and we don't go through school, and we're not instilling in our students and our next generation that education is important, we're going to lose out on doctors and lawyers and policymakers and people that can make a difference. So we're taking ourselves out of the game, like you said. So that's why education is so important, to continue to keep our communities intact. And that irks me too when I hear people say that education is not important. No, it's not the end all be all, because a lot of people do become successful when they've gone another route, but they've also been educated in other routes. So it's still education, but they're just being educated in different forms. But the systematic and education that we're talking about, public education, private education, whatever you want to go through it, that's an education. Our formal education is an education that we have to hold on to in our communities, and not feel like it doesn't matter, because it does. And if the people that, like you said, Dr. Perkins, that are saying that it doesn't matter, are the people that don't want to see your communities grow.
And again, audience, watch who's saying it. It's a lot of rich people saying it.
Yeah.
I haven't once seen someone who's maybe on the poor side of things say it. So education is power.
Right. It is. But the question that you asked me, what question you asked me about the book, or?
Yeah, what's one book outside of your writings, your books, that you would recommend to help people become a purpose-driven leader, or a stronger purpose-driven leader?
Right. I've read a lot of books, so many books, especially in my research when I was working on my doctoral degree. But outside of that, I also was a voracious reader. But the one person that I always feel a connection with, and this book is called The Souls of Black Folk, and that's by W.E.B. Du Bois. And his exploration of the identity and systemic iniquities and the resilience of Black communities challenges all of us to think critically about the structure that we aim to dismantle. And the dismantling comes from, again, like my program, interrupting the school to prison pipeline, we're dismantling structures so that we can make sure that we're able to be more positive within our communities with our kids. But so I relate to W.E.B. Du Bois because, like him, I'm deeply committed to addressing systemic injustices, especially those affecting the marginalized communities. And W.E.B. Was a scholar and an activist, and he focused on education. And that's what I do. I focus on education. And he also focused on transformative tools to combat racial inequities and uplift disenfranchised people and groups. So similarly to the Hope Key Foundation, uh, he centers on empowering, our at-risk youth. That's what he centered. His whole work was to empower our community, and like him, we're trying to empower our community by addressing the school to prison pipeline and creating opportunities for those that are often overlooked in our society.
What's one piece of advice, a large piece of advice that maybe someone gave you or you learned that you want to share with everyone tonight?
I've gotten a lot of advice. I know I keep saying, but I'm old, so I have a lot of experience of getting a lot of advice, going through a lot of challenges and things, but I'm still here. And like my grandmother used to tell us, just wait and you'll see something new every day. So I'm still learning every day. But a piece of advice that I would give is for aspiring purpose-driven leaders, it would be to never lose sight of your why. And your purpose is the foundation of everything you do, and staying connected to it will guide you through the challenges and the triumphs alike. So just never, ever forget your why, and surround yourself with people that are like-minded, that share your vision, and don't be afraid to learn. Don't be afraid to collaborate with other people in the community, because we're just learning from each other and we're impacting each other. And also remember that true leadership isn't about doing it all. It's not about doing it all. It's about
Thank you.
empowering other people around
Yes.
you, to rise to what you feel that they should rise to their potential. And also, just stay grounded, stay focused, and always lead with intention and with heart.
Leaders are quiet. Leaders train up their teammates and then sit back and observe and coach.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to be the rock star as the leader. Let them shine.
Yes.
When they shine, you shine as a leader. So great advice. Where can listeners connect with you and learn more about your purpose-driven journey?
Well, like I said, you can connect with me through Hope Key, and that's hopekey.org. I'm also on different platforms like LinkedIn, and what's the other one, Dr. Perkins?
Facebook, YouTube, Instagram.
Yes.
All
Instagram.
right.
Yes.
Are you on TikTok?
You can tell that I'm not on TikTok because I'm so not into social media, but I'm trying to get better. And my kids are helping me, and it's rough. This new generation is kind of rough with with getting on social media and stuff. It's a lot of work. But yeah, let's continue the conversation, and you can connect with me at any point on our Hope Key space. So
very good. And I know you're always looking for donors, I believe.
Yes.
To help out with the cause.
Please help with the cause. We're always looking for people to donate. We're also looking for people to volunteer. We're looking for people to to help us with our grants and things. So there's a lot of need within our agency because there's a lot of need within our community. So please, just even if you just call and say, hey, what can I do, or offer some advice to me, because I'm always open to. Yeah. So I'd love to hear from you.
Thank you so much for your time and your knowledge and your expertise, and for sharing tonight. Just to let Jug, I think it's Jug Flex Promoter, I did get your information about Dee Dee, so I will reach out to her and contact her. I love people who want to come on the show live and really share their expertise to help others. So everyone, let's thank Dr. Darlene Smith-Raibon. And if you can hang tight, Dr. Smith-Raibon, I just want to do a debrief with you. But everyone, keep looking for these live events. I'm going to have one in a couple weeks on some other leadership aspects to help you become a Be Better leader. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight, and we'll see you soon.